Welcome back to another episode of Drivers4Drivers. I'm Ken Cox. Today we've got Francis Ham.
Hi.
Kenny Coons.
Howdy.
Behind the scenes we've got Danny.
Hello.
And we are
Drivers4Drivers.
We've got a winner for the backpack.
All right.
Last episode that came out was about EDC, right?
What does that mean again? Kenny, do you remember what that is?
Is it everyday packing?
That works. Everyday carry. We had quite a few comments on this podcast, on the last podcast. I also learned there's a button I need to push so I can approve all of these comments, because all up until yesterday, I was like, nobody comments on these. Like, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, well, it's because I didn't, approve them. And then all of a sudden, there's 100, 150 comments that come through. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
And they're good comments. You guys' comments have been awesome.
Super engaged. The question was, what is your EDC? What is your everyday carry while you're on the truck? So at Jake Burgoyne 6536, MREs, they last forever. Clothes from his North Dakota oil field days, plus his shiny paperweight, his tire thumper. Godsock 1, coffee, nicotine, and food. He must have been prior military.
Yeah. Got his caffeine and his nicotine covered.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Water, flashlight, dog food, tools, antifreeze, oil, clothes, diesel 911, Band-Aids, and cold medicine.
Oh, he should have won the backpack.
Very close.
Very close. Very close. Russell Novick 3473. I mean, he had a list. It was a sleeping bag, clothes, survival kit, meds, water, food, backup charger, backup battery, because I think you mentioned that as well.
That was
Looked at my Bible.
My mom.
yeah.
Knife, socks, road map, boots, TP, because we,
Yeah.
TP.
Yep.
Jumper cables. A lot of the guys don't carry jumper cables with them. And I have been in situations myself where jumper cables have come in handy.
Absolutely.
Truck dies, I got to jump it off of the reefer.
You could do that?
It takes a little while.
I was going to say, can I...
Takes a long time with speaker wire.
Yes, it does.
And I don't have a headliner anymore. So, and then he said just enough supplies if he gets stranded. At Trucking Dog 1, email me, kcox@giltner.com. Your details will get you this backpack. You are the winner.
All right.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, congrats. Well, I tell you one thing, that's a nice backpack. I very seldom have I carried a backpack, and now that I'm bouncing back and forth to Jerome, and here in Twin, I've been carrying the backpack quite a bit. This thing's got like 8 different pockets in it.
Yeah.
I lose stuff all the time. I can't remember which pocket I put it in, but maybe that will help organize your everyday carry.
Perfect. I'm going to dive into SMS scores. Like I said, once a month we dive into this. We let, kind of gives us as a company our safety grade, if you will. Unsafe driving went from 34 to 36. Hours of service, 55 to 57. Vehicle maintenance, 34 to 33. So a couple episodes we had talked about, make sure, like the next month, let's look at trailers and let's make sure that we're getting those taken care of. We want to keep those fixed costs down. Is that a fixed cost? It's not so much a fixed cost.
It's a variable
Cost. We want to keep those down. And so we're doing good on that. There's a lot of room to improve. We want to focus on hours of service. We've had a lot of personal conveyance that's not being used correctly. If you have questions, call into safety. We'll walk you through it. We had a couple instances where the 2-hour exemption.
Adverse
weather. Yeah.
So adverse weather. We've had a couple of people not use that correctly either. And then driving beyond the 14-hour, driving beyond the 11-hour, not doing your 30-minute break. So this next month, let's focus on hours of service and make sure that we're doing those good. Scores right now are still looking fantastic. Hours of service, let's bring those down.
They sneak up on you quickly, though. It's something you always got to keep in front of you and make sure you're tracking. I get it. You get real busy out there, but it's something that we can't turn our back on. We really got to stay on top of it.
Isn't there a bright red light flashing in their eye?
There is. On the OmniTrack side of things, as you're going down the road, The little home button there, orange. You just kind of ignore that. You just keep going. Red, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
So
need to
don't
slow it down.
ignore those.
Yeah, don't ignore that.
So does it turn orange as it gets close to red, or is it always red or always orange?
Nope, it'll be clear. Like
Okay.
if you get a blue light, you got a message. If you get an orange light, that's typically about an hour before your 30-minute break or your 11 hours is up. Or your 14 hours is up. If it goes red, you've gone over one of those.
Okay.
And so it's like, I messed up. I'm going to get a call from safety.
Somebody.
Yep.
What? How long do you have to take a break?
So we have a 30-minute break. FMCSA's come out. Within the first 8 hours of driving, you have to have a 30-minute break. If you do your 30-minute break in the first hour, and to do that, well, you've got another 8 hours, and then you have to take a break in between there.
Yeah.
So it's better
That could be
to.
explained better.
Well,
No, that makes sense.
You know, I think you said it right. You've got a work shift. You know, you've got what 11-hour span in there, and you have to have 8 hours. So if you take a break, let's say you go 1 hour, and then you take a break, and then you go again, you're only at 9 hours, right? Because you got the next 8 hours. It means you got to take another break. So you're better off to run 4 or 5 hours into the day, and then take your break, and then you can run the rest of your shift before you stop without having to take another 30-minute break.
I always did it when I fueled.
You can't do that. Fueling needs to be on duty.
For 30 minutes?
Not for 30 minutes, though. No, fueling. It used to be that you had to block that out when we did paper, right? You had to show a minimum of 15 minutes because that's how the increments went. Now that we're on E-log, if it takes you 5 minutes to fuel up, it takes you 5 minutes to fuel up. Same with pre-trip. If it takes you 5 minutes.
But then you just do the other 25, 30.
Well, the off duty needs, like your 30-minute break needs to be off duty. So if you're fueling, you're doing your pre-trip, getting inspected, that's all on duty time. So you're on duty, you're filling up, you pull forward, you put yourself in off duty, then you've got 30 minutes there that you are walking around the
Yeah.
convenience store. And as long as there's,
Holding up the fuel island.
holding up the
and-
fuel island, people yelling at you. Dang you,
Dirty.
Giltner.
That's right.
I can't move for another 2 minutes.
Sorry, driver. I'll tell you what, you do your 30-minute break back there, I'll do it up here, and we're good to go. Teamwork.
That's right.
You got a safety topic for us?
I'm going to go back into talk a little bit about tires. I know everybody's heard a lot about tires, but
Are those round things?
they are, and hopefully they remain round. You know? They don't get like flat spots in them.
Not the old wagon wheel ones.
Those don't get flat spots.
That's right. That's right. Everybody that's listening to this knows what rates are. They know what's going on in the industry right now, and it's still kind of weak. When it comes on rates, they're just down. Sometimes they pop up just a little bit, and then they're back down again. It's kind of like a roller coaster, depending on the week that you're in. We talked about fixed cost and variable cost. Tires are definitely a variable cost. It's going to cost us X amount of cents per mile to run equipment down the road. So trailer tires, when we look at trailer tires, the trailers are company assets, and we have a budget to put tires on trailers. They are definitely a safety item. You got to have tread on them, they've got to be in good shape. They got to be aired up correctly. What are the benefits of taking care of your trailer tires? First thing is, I think the foremost thing is going to be your fuel mileage. If your trailer tires are aired up correctly, they're running down the road correctly, they're tracking correctly, you don't have a dog tracking trailer, or you're not pulling something that's not inflated correctly, will cost you fuel. And when you're paying for that fuel, it gets rather expensive. So I think first thing is make sure they're aired up correctly when you're pulling them down the road. Make sure they do have tread on them. Make sure they're in good shape. If not, start reaching out before they're flat or bald or threads showing or steel showing or anything of that nature. Start communicating that. We do have places we can stop at that are within the network to get tires put on equipment at the right cost. And we definitely want to do that. We want you to be safe out there. We want you to have the correct tire size, the correct inflation. We've got devices on all of our equipment, to make sure that we are aired up. So let's make sure that we're doing that. And then let's control our cost. So if we're seeing something that needs to be addressed, definitely speak about it, and we'll try to get that addressed for you, get that done. And then I guess when you drop a trailer, make sure that it is in good shape for the next person that's coming behind you to grab it. We want to make sure that thing is aired up and the tires are in good shape.
Absolutely. Question for you.
Tip first on them tires. A lot of guys have a tendency to hook up to a trailer and put the air to it before they check them trailer tires. Go back there and bump them tires before you put the air to it. Because what happens with these newer systems now is you put the air to it and they airs both tires up to the 100 pounds. Is that what they're running in them now? So if you got a tire that's leaking or something and you wait till you put air to it, the system's going to keep it at 100 pounds. So if you go back there, check it before you hook up to it is the best way to do it.
Yep.
Perfect.
That was a good tip.
Great tip. Also, fifth wheel grease. That's going to help with your fuel mileage. How does that help with your fuel mileage? Well, let me tell you.
Less resistance.
Less resistance, less drag.
They come up with a lot of things over the years for fuel mileage.
Yeah.
Some little fins they put on the back of the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
0.003% better fuel mileage.
Aerodynamics.
I still don't know, and maybe this will be a question for the group out there, unless you guys may know it. But you see some of these trucks that run down the road and they put these little triangle things that are stuck like every 6 inches or something all the way up the side. What is that for?
Break the wind.
How does it break the wind?
I don't know.
I know how I break the wind.
I know. I was thinking. I'm so immature.
It goes back to needing DP.
You remember them ones they put on the back of the doors? Come
Oh,
3 or 4 foot off the trailer, and they had all these metal arms in there.
Yeah.
Those didn't make it very long.
Drivers kept backing up to doors and smashing them.
Yeah,
Be sitting
that was a
up-
bad idea.
But they were kind of the same idea. They just took off or added a little bit more fuel mileage to it, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I know the ones that you guys are talking about that folded out on the backside, that's supposed to knock back on the tail draft, because they say that actually the wind going over your unit then comes in from the backside and kind of pulls you back. A lot of times you'd have people that would kind of sneak in behind you and get real up close to you and get into that tail draft, try to take the wind off of them, thinking they're getting better fuel mileage when really they're just waiting for a hard brake event to have a crash.
yeah.
We're NASCAR in it.
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder
right.
how many people bought them thinking they could go uphill faster.
I felt I
know.
did.
When I was in Argentina, every car had this rubber deal that they'd add to the back of the car that would drag along the ground, and I think it was supposed to help with eliminate when you go to get gas up, eliminate the electric shock that you get from
The ground strap, huh?
Yeah, do they have anything like that for trucks?
Not that I know of.
Oil fill.
You got something dragging on the ground. Let's get that addressed.
That goes to SMS.
That's right. That's right.
Question for you, drivers out there. What is your fixed cost per mile?
So when you're operating your truck,
Operating costs.
yeah, what are your true operating costs if you can break it down per mile? So if you run down the road and let's say your MPGs are 5 gallons or 5 miles per gallon, right?
5 smiles per gallon?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So break down the cost of what you're paying for fuel, and figure out what it's going to cost you per mile. And then your oil changes, your services, things of that nature.
Your PMs, your short services, what are tires going to cost you? Your tires, the length of time that you have that truck, you should only have to replace them once. right?
Yep.
These Michelins that we have running on there, they are 280 to 300,000 miles if you are rotating and balancing them and make sure they have proper air on them. Steer tires a little bit different. You'll probably go through 2 sets of those. Kind of figure that into your maintenance costs there. All the other stuff that you put in there, your windshield washer fluid, tranny fluid. You don't put tranny fluid in there.
Blinker fluid.
Blinker fluid. Make sure you change that out. It's about summertime.
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
That
What's
is
your
true.
cost per mile? Let us know. Comment below.
Yep.
I was stuck on the 5 miles per gallon.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
We're doing cats now.
Yeah.
Danny, closing thoughts?
Thanks for watching, guys, and we really appreciate your comments. They really are awesome. If you've seen an episode that aired in the past, and I encourage you to go back and look at the comments that weren't there before. We just went through and enabled them, and you can kind of see what everybody's talking about, and they're really great. So,
Absolutely.
All right.
I
Closing
mean,
thoughts?
we're into season 2. We probably should have had that figured out.
By now.
Safety guy.
this is one that's not safety guy's fault.
I'd like to thank everybody on the team. It's been a tough go. We brought 2 fleets together, and so we're all together in Jerome. A lot of people working together, doing different things. Office side of things, I think we're starting to come around. Everybody's working real hard on trying to get our drivers with the freight that they need to be successful. So everybody's working real hard on that in the office, and I think that's great. Our drivers that are out there pushing freight down the road, many times thank you for everything that you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. We appreciate all your efforts. It really makes a difference, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you very much for what you're doing.
Agree.
Agree. Ditto.
Ditto.
Closing thoughts?
Just piggyback on that. If it wasn't for drivers, it wouldn't be a company. So,
Sure.
hands down, they're the backbone of trucking, and we appreciate them.
For sure.
That's right.
This episode, we talked about the backpack winner. Again, at TruckingDog1. Give me an email. Let me know your details, and I will we'll arrange for you to get the backpack. We talked about SMS scores. Way to get some better mileage.
Yep.
Tune in next week where we talk about other good or most important thingers.
That's right. Don't want to miss it.
Remember your eyes and ears on the road. If you see something, say something. We succeed when you make it home safely to your loved ones. Thanks for making the better move.
Yep. Thanks.
See ya.